Well, imagine this situation is coming upon you. It's time for your family reunion event, and you need to cater for all your family, friends, and relatives. Time to call up Picnics Plus. Oh gee, we're on hold, and now I haven't heard from them in a week. Guess I'm going to KFC. Don't let this become a reality for you. Our team today is here to show you possible ways in order to save you from this happening to you. I'm Keith Price, and these are my colleagues.
Zach Chrisman.
Chen Huang.
And we're going to go over a couple of different things today in order to present a solution to this issue. We're going to cover the basic introduction of what's going on. We've kind of already done that, I suppose. The business problem, we're going to further define that and try to give you a broader definition of what exactly it is that you're going to be tackling here. And we're going to give a couple of solution ideas, try to get to that final proposal that we'll then go into showing the resulting benefits of this proposal, and provide some feasibility as to why we believe it's the best option available, as well as showing the economic benefit that you'll gain from that. So, business problems. As we stated earlier, we see that Picnics Plus faces a couple of problems, namely the response time. Miss Hennessy currently handles all operations via the phone, and given her busy schedule, it's often difficult for her to be there all the time whenever a customer needs service. This leads to them often turning away to other competitor services. And even though it gives that direct contact, it ends up losing them sales in the end. This also has a complicated filing system throughout Picnics Plus. So for some odd reason, they like to have multiple copies of these picnic pick lists, which are manually created at the time of the event scheduling, handed out to all sorts of different managers. So the catering manager gets one, the operations manager gets one, Miss Hennessy has one, there's 3 for the secretary and 1 for the accounting manager. In the end, this makes gathering cost data very difficult. If there's a certain figure that's lost, it's hard to trace where that document is, and it creates a lot of system redundancy. So some of the solutions that we've come up with to try and tackle this ordering issue are shown here. The very first one we'd like to introduce is a mail order service. And this would obviously reduce stress on Miss Hennessy and not require her to be there all the time if customers could simply mail in their request. I need a picnic on this date for this time with this many people. But obviously we find that there's a very high cost of communication. Who exactly is going to cover the postage for these items? There's no standardization in this unless we do send out standard documents, fill in this document. Where will they get those documents? There's some confusion there. And increased paperwork, obviously. So we already got 8 copies of the expense reports, and now we have even more things to worry about. So that doesn't really solve the issue at hand. The enhanced database, however, does sort of kind of address the issue of having all these redundant data. But in the end, it's not going to gain them any sales. It's also going to be pretty costly in terms of both maintenance and training to have this type of a system involved. And we would really like to have something feed in that data, because that would still require a manual data entry. And so the solution that we would like to further expand upon tonight is the Picnics Plus Plus, which is an online ordering service that provides a user-friendly and convenient environment for the customer to interact with Picnics Plus, or Picnics Plus rather. And now I'm going to hand it over to Zach, who's going to go a little more in depth about our solution.
All right. Picnics Plus Plus is essentially a internet-based interface where essentially you can go in and you can put in your information about your picnic, and you instantly get a price quote for that picnic instead of waiting around like wait a week. That instantly solves the problem initially that we kind of talked about. And once you actually decide, hey, this quote's good for me, I'm going to order, you actually put in your information, and that information is then tracked so that if you continually have picnics over and over again, your information's already there. Maybe you have a preferred 300 people per picnic. That would be saved. And it will currently work with the current database. It'll integrate perfectly with that. And some of the benefits of this will obviously save time, like we talked about. Instead of waiting a week to get the quote, you'll instantly get a quote. You'll instantly know if I want that picnic or not. Expedited orders. reduce customer turnover. You won't lose those customers, essentially. Like those customers that waited a week, they're going to go do something else. You now have those, and it gives you an idea, it gives you an opportunity to expand. Better customer tracking, like I said, historical data will be tracked within it, within the current database. It'll just be added to it. And user-friendly, like literally you just type in your information, and it's that simple. So if you can use a keyboard and a screen, you can use our interface. And now I'm going to hand it over to Wes to talk about some of the feasibilities of this project.
So I'll talk about the feasibility of our project. Our project, like any other investment in the world, has risk. So what kind of risk could happen to our project? We would probably cannot meet a certain deadline, create delay for our project. Also, we could spend over what we have. The budget can be overrun. Also, the possibility that we could encounter a new kind of software that we do not have a certain level of expertise. So this kind of risks would delay our project and potentially destroy the value of our project. So to be able to prepare for the future risk, we have identified the three contingency plan. Actually, it's two contingency plan. The first one is just we go with the original plan. All the features I've talked about in the scope will be included in our project. And for the second plan, we would deduct the business tracking function, which means we will keep a smaller customer database. We weren't able to track customer information for a long run. That we're gonna just keep 1 year information. This would allow to reduce the spending at the beginning of the project, because maintaining long-term customer information would require a lot of spending on the hardware and the software. And for another contingency plan, we would like to deduct the online transaction function, which means the Picnic Plus will not allow the customer to pay the service instantly after they have requested the service in the website. And this would cut a lot of annual spending, recurring spending for our project, because the credit card service company usually charge a lot for the online business. And then we run several economic analysis assessments on our original plan and also on our two backup plans. And then we shall see that the Picnic Plus end up with most decent figures from present value analysis, return on investment, and a break-even analysis. For the contingency plan 2, we would like to minus database. So it will provide short-term benefits because we cut the initial cost, but then pay off like the Picnic Plus. And for the alternative 3, we will just cut the cost and cut the benefits. So if anything go right, we highly recommend you to consider about the Picnic Plus. Other two is use as backup plans if there's something happen, the kind of risk happen to our project. So I'll hand it over to Huang to talk about the conclusion.
In conclusion, we have covered the problems of Picnic Plus, such as slow response, bad customer service because of slow response time, and also we proposed a solution to that problem, which we came up with a web interface called the Picnic Plus, and the benefit associated with that solution is that the customer is allowed to have an instant quote, so they don't need to wait for like a week to wait for like Mrs. Hennessy's to give them the official quote. And also we address the risk and feasibilities.